I'm Julie Emden, and I am subbing for Lizzie today. And we're going to be practicing with a blanket and 2 blocks and a strap. And I'll jump right in. Our focus for our practice today, as many of you I'm sure know, we are in this time of the Hebrew calendar that we are approaching tonight and tomorrow, the holiday of Tisha B'Av. And Tisha B'Av is the 9th of Av. And we have been building towards this date since the 17th of Tammuz. And these 2 dates are 3 weeks of time where we're mapping between the breach of the temple walls and the destruction of both the first and second temple on this date. And so this time, as I am sure many of you have been practicing and already have been involved with, is a time of tending to our grief and tending to that which is broken and difficult and destroyed in our lives and in our peoplehood and in our world. And it's a deep time of mourning and practicing of tending to our mourning, the active mourning of grief, one of the most human and universal emotions that come with living. So what I wanted to offer today was one quality, rachamim, compassion, as we tend to our grief and as it can be cultivated and as it exists in the body. And the idea of rachamim as softening. So we're going to focus the whole practice today on bringing some awareness into our shoulders and the upper body, where the heart and lungs reside, and the rib basket that surrounds those organs. But I also want to invite you to consider the idea of the heart residing in the whole body today and bringing all that we're feeling into our practice and tending and paying attention to that, to our emotional body. So one other idea I'll bring, and then as you know, I'll bring more ideas as we go into the practice, is the idea that the word for softness in Hebrew, soft, is rach. And the word for womb is rechem. And although they're spelled differently, the idea of softness and containment and holding is the intention, kavanah, that I'll invite us to bring. So let's come to the mat. And again, if you have your mat open, we're going to begin, here's the view, with a blanket under our shoulders. So this idea of softening into a blanket at the back body, under the shoulders, we'll take this blanket, this shape, a blanket, just this shape of a half fold, and then fold it again or roll it based on your practice and what you know might be best for you. And if anything I offer is not right for your body, please take care of yourself and tend to yourself. So you can have a thicker fold, or you could have it just at the very top of the blanket folded back. And I'll show you what we're doing is we'll sit with the fold at the line at the bottom of the shoulder blade. So we take our hips, knees bent, and you can use the core as you roll down or use your hands to support you. And we roll back and let the shoulder blades rest. Take hands behind your head. Hold at the lowest part of the skull to support your neck. And then roll the shoulders up and over the blanket so the tops of the shoulder blades come down. And you might notice that your back comes into a very gentle back bend. Keep your knees bent. And feet on the floor. And we'll rest the arms out in the shape of a T, palms facing up. And just take a moment and feel the contact of the body supported by the fold of the blanket behind the heart. And take a few moments. You might need an extra blanket under your head and neck. Please take an extra support if you need that. And we'll just breathe here for a few moments with support at the back of the heart. Just sort of a relaxed and receiving back bend, a very gentle back bend. Take a deep, long breath, erech apayim. And as you exhale, let the body soften and settle a little more into the blanket. And just noting where the blanket is in contact with the back body. There are layers and layers of muscle, so many muscles that support us to move the shoulders and arms. And then see if you can find and feel where the solidity of the shoulder blades are meeting the blanket. We'll just take a couple more breaths here. And then let's go ahead and bring the knees to the left, roll on over, come on up to sitting, and we'll open the blanket completely flat and open it one more time. And just staying with the contact that we just received, we'll keep going with opening the shoulders and hips a little bit. So come back down and feel your torso, your hips and torso on the blanket up, open a little larger, and we'll lie back down flat and take a moment, lift hips, send them away from crown of head, knees over the toes, and release the pelvis down again. And take a moment to feel now what it's like to rest into the blanket with the whole body, the whole torso, evenly weighted. Go ahead and lift the right leg up, left knee stays bent with left foot on the floor, and just circle the ankle joint one way and another, opening up the joints, the fluidity in the joints as chesed, as loving kindness to accompany us in this little practice today as we soften into ourselves. And then let's bend and straighten the knee, just waking up the joints and noting if you're gripping or holding anywhere in the neck or shoulders. Can you soften? Can something soften as we rest into the floor and open the legs? And then knee is bent and we'll circle the thigh bone in the joint, just waking up the hip joint. Left knee is staying steady. And all the time when we're practicing, these qualities of steadiness and fluidity can come and balance one another as we just move deeper into the inner landscape of our bodies. Okay, now take right foot to floor with knee bent, extend left leg. We're just gonna wake up the joints. Ankle joint, circling one way and another. Receiving your breath, being sure that you're not holding your breath, and then bend and straighten the knee so the leg extends and folds. Noting if the pelvic bowl is even, let the sacrum, the lowest part of the spine, rest evenly on both sides. And then with the knee bent, circling one way and another. And take your time Go slowly, feel into the range of movement that's unique to you this morning. Every time we practice, a little different, and honoring that. Okay. Now take both legs bent, both knees bent, and bring the spine long. So you're creating more space between lower ribs and pelvic rim, the top of the pelvic bowl, and just um, rolling back and forth a little bit, a little massage at the top of the hips. So you're just of the hip bones of the ilium. So you're just moving and waking up a little bit. And then from here, come to stillness. Keep the left knee folded close into the chest and open the right leg with the knee bent and then out to the side. And do this opening and closing, this folding and extending on the right leg while the left knee is bent with the foot up off the floor. So it's really easy. Should feel really good. And then bring right knee up to center and open the left. So the left knee is opening and closing. I'm just waking up the legs. Bring both knees to center and place feet on floor. We'll take one more opening for the legs. If you have your strap handy, please grab it. It's not necessary to have one, but if you have it, go ahead once more. Take the right leg up and take the strap around the middle of the foot and extend that right leg long. And from here, see if it's possible to soften at the top of the foot. So there's a folding of the ankle at the front of the foot that's softening. You're not efforting the foot at all. It's just sort of steady. And the hands are up close by the foot. Left knee is bent and foot on floor. And take the top leg a little farther away from your head so you find a gentle arch in the lower back, a little bit like what we just experienced with the blanket under our shoulders. And feel the insertion of the thigh bone into the hip joint very snugly, like really as if it's a cradling of the joint. Your leg is so steady in the joint. And the softening of the front of the foot, we're going to continue as we shimmy the strap a little further up at the base of toes. And once more, not active in the foot, a little different today. Soften the front ankle, and you may feel this in different parts of your leg. Yeah. So the strap is at the base of the toes. It's up a little higher. Just receiving the stretch. Feeling it in the calves, maybe the hamstrings. From here, keeping the leg straight, take your strap into the right hand. Left hand comes to floor for a little extra balance, and we'll turn the hips and pelvis just over all the way, and the left knee comes to floor. So crossing over, now pick strap in left hand and crossing over only about a foot. So you're affirming from outer hip to outer knee to outer ankle on the right leg and lengthening and lifting that leg up to the sky. And once more soften at the front of the ankle. So a little more extra opening at the back leg. Always breathing and reestablish, if you can, the upper body, the shoulder girdle on the floor. So the shoulder blades are resting on the floor. And come back to center. Take left leg up into the strap with the right and hold them both for a moment and feel a little sending down a tilt of the pelvis so you get a gentle arch in the lower back, and notice right leg and left. And then release the right leg to the floor. Bent knee, foot on the floor, and take strap both hands around the middle of the foot first. So the left foot's up to the sky, the strap is around the midfoot, and the gentle tilt of the pelvis so that the pubic bone is sending itself away from the sternum. And then soften at that front ankle. Notice where the softening and the receiving of the shape brings a little opening. Always taking deep, long breaths and letting the body settle on the exhale. And then let's go ahead, shimmy the strap up to base of toes and soften once more at the front of the ankle. So it's a little different. The foot is soft, it's awake, and it is open. The expanse of the foot reflecting the expanse, rakea, of the sky, but there's a softness to it. And just really putting attention to the sensations in the legs, the opening in the calves, the hamstrings. From here, we'll take strap into the right hand, and the leg stays straight and the right knee stays bent. And we just turn the entire pelvis, the hips turn all the way. The right outer right leg stays bent on it, lands on the floor, and take the top leg only about a foot over, and then firming and reaching and lengthening evenly inner and outer leg, and especially lengthening from outer left hip to knee to ankle. And then once more, soften at the ankle joint and hold the strap up close to the foot. You can open the left arm, reestablish the shoulder blades on the floor, perhaps if possible, the whole arm, the whole left arm, and let it soften into the floor again. So the upper body is releasing and softening into the floor, and the front of the ankle joint is softening. Okay, and we'll release that. We'll roll to the side and come up to sitting, and fold your blanket in half at the middle of the mat. And please take your two blocks and place them at the top of on the left side of the mat. And we'll come to all fours, and the blocks are just in front of the left hand. So index fingers are aligned, hands are under shoulders, knees under hips, toes turned under. And we'll just take a gentle cat-cow, inhaling, lifting tail and head. Exhaling, rounding the spine. And almost as if it's an ocean wave, taking the openings from the hips into the shoulders, moving through you. We'll inhale, and in your own timing, exhale and round. Take this a few times. Let your breath guide the movement and the timing. Noting where there may be tightness in any part of the body, and noting where it may be possible to soften just a little bit. Feeling the soft pads of the thumb meeting the mat. And then let's go ahead, come to neutral, and we'll walk the hands a little close together. Inhale, raise the right arm up by your ear, extended palm facing in, and then turn the hand to face up from the shoulder all the way from the right hip. Turn the whole arm up, palm facing up, and rest the forearm on the blocks. Walk left hand out and send your hips back. So toes are turned under and you're lengthening all the way from side waist with the palm facing up, reaching and lengthening through the armpit and the shoulder. Again, take care of your body. If this is not right for your shoulder, please don't do it. And feeling into this long open channel from the hip crease on the right all the way through the shoulder to fingers. And then lift up from here. Continue with, take that right hand back, turn and bend the elbow, and with the palm still facing up, slide it in between arm and head. And you're going to slide it with the palm facing up, long and open, and rest the shoulder down. Maybe the head comes down to the floor, maybe not. And so you're opening all the way, wrapping the shoulder blades around from the center to the outside of the body, the side body. And you can just feel this gorgeous shape and construction of this wrapping around. And then come on up. And we'll take the blocks to the right side. Just slide them over. Go ahead and take another inhale and exhale with the cat cow, and maybe take hips back evenly for a moment and just feel into the side body, into the rib basket. And from here, we'll walk the hands a little closer to one another. And then go ahead, lift the left arm, the upper arms by the ear, palm facing in, and then wrap it and swing it almost like you're moving sand to create a sandcastle on the beach. You're swinging and wrapping, and then up, turn the palm up, walk your right hand out off the mat even if you needed. And with a soft elbow on the right, you're going to send the whole shape back, hips back to heels, with opening in the shoulder and the inner arm, the inner armpit, and let the stretch come all the way from the hip crease on the left. So you can adjust any way you need to make this work for your body and to find the opening. And then take a breath and notice if there's any place to soften. Soften the effort. Notice if you're gripping. Just let the body open and release in the shape. And then we'll come on up. Place that left hand on the floor and take the right arm out to the side. Then bend the elbow with palm facing up toward you and wrap and walk. And oh, wait, I did the wrong one. Sorry. You're going to take the right hand down and wrap the left arm under and over all the way to the side. So you're resting on the outer left arm, using your weight on your right hand as you need it. If you'd like, you can rest the head down all the way. But most important is just feeling this wrapping and twisting and turning into yourself, toward yourself. And really imagining the shoulder blade on the left wrapping around toward the floor. And we'll release. Come on up to all fours again. Walk the right foot between hands and then left foot between hands with knees soft and releasing the neck. Rest the upper body on the thighs for a moment. We'll take a little baby chair pose with a fold. And then inhale and bring arms all the way up. Come to standing. Arms are up by the ears, palms facing one another. Feel the length of the whole body, and then release the arms down. We'll take the blanket off the mat, and we'll take blocks behind us. Actually, we'll take both blocks to the left side of the mat. And standing here in mountain pose for a moment, let's go ahead and just swing the arms and really place your attention on softening behind the knees, soft pads of the feet on the floor, and then take one arm and another like a backstroke. So we're waking up the shoulders. And there's a softening and a bouncing of the legs. So you really feel a fluidity and a connection. Maybe take feet wider apart and feel the connection of the lower body and the upper body and the shoulder girdle. And come to stillness a moment and notice collarbones in front and the insertion of the upper arm into that shoulder joint. We'll bend the elbows and take more swimming, synchronized yoga studio swimming. And just one more shoulder rolling. Just any way that feels good of waking up the upper body and the shoulders. And we'll take one more specifically useful shoulder opener. We'll take our strap over the left shoulder, just lying flat. And go ahead and take your left arm out to the side and then raise it all the way up by the head again and bend the elbow behind. Take your other hand to the tip of the elbow, lengthen through the upper arm. First, we're just lengthening up and find the length all the way from the inner foot on that standing leg. So that's one long open channel. Now take your right arm out behind and take hold of strap with both hands and lengthen elbows away from one another. So we're opening the triceps, the muscle that's on the underside of that upper arm. Soften the front ribs, soften behind the neck. Notice if there is a way to feel the natural alignment of the skeletal body without gripping, without hardening. And every single thing we're doing is creating just more space inside. And then let's release. Take a little roll, shoulder roll, and switch the strap to second side. The strap is on your right. And take your right arm out to the side, palm facing up all the way up by the head, bend the elbow. And the palm is just resting at the upper back. Then take left hand to the elbow and just lift up into the fingertip. We're not pulling or yanking to the side. We're just lengthening and lifting up straight. And once more, notice if you can soften at the front ribs. Soften the sits bones down toward the floor. And where else can you soften? Rachamim. And then release the top arm, keep your right elbow bent, and then hold the strap from below and above. And find the space behind the heart, opening and expanding. And even in the shape, just noting that the ribs are 360 degrees all around, every single breath, creating a little more space inside around the heart and lungs. Inside the lungs, inside the heart. Okay, and we'll release. And we'll shift here into a little standing pose series. And what we'll focus on for this is just noticing, if you can, a little more expanse and a little more opening in the heart and lungs area, in the ribs and in the upper body. So we'll take note of that as we go through this sequence today. So open the legs wide, and we'll first, with the block, both blocks on the front of the left side of the mat, turn the left leg out and the right leg in. And then we'll inhale, raise the arms, turn the hips to the left, and come on, hinge over to a very, let's take that block, actually, one block, and take it up high for triangle pose. So the hand is resting very lightly on the block, and the arms are one long open channel. Now, soften behind that left knee just a little bit and let the weight of the foot be based in the inner heel and the base of the big toe as evenly as the outer foot. Swing, let the top arm swing around out to the side, soften all the way behind that left knee, and take arm over to the side for a side angle. Keep that hand resting up high on the block so you can feel a turning of the shoulders and the heart up toward the sky. Taking care of your neck, strong legs, knee is aligned over second and third toe. Good. We're going to turn now toward the mat. Take that top arm down to the second block. Take both blocks beneath the hands and shoulders and turn for runner's lunge. Left knee over left ankle. Take the height of the blocks that's right for you. Lift the hips to the height of the knees or send them down to the height of the knees. So you really feel this even, strong, long posture for the legs, the shape. Notice if it's possible, you can turn the blocks up to their height and see if it's possible to find from that inner back heel this little baby back bend, even. Shoulder blades moving down the back, wide open collarbones, and you can play with the placement of the blocks. You really support a little heart opener. From here, let that back leg soften all the way down to the mat. You can take a blanket under your knee if that's better for your body. Walk blocks back under shoulders. So we have a very high lunge. Now, draw the hip points in together. Draw the length of the body up from pubic bone through sternum to crown so that you're really lifting up, and widen the collarbones and send the sternum, the center breastbone, chest bone up to the sky, maybe lifting the chin a tiny bit, feeling the whole shape of this rounded, gorgeous moon shape. Release the back foot so the top of the foot comes down, keeping the blocks at their height, walk them out, and then straighten the front leg. Straighten that front leg and lift the toes up to the sky. So it's a little opening of the back of the leg, a little hamstring opener, just to release. Notice here if you can bring hips over the knees and soften into this very gentle forward fold. The spine is long. It's a turning of the pelvis and torso over that front leg. Draw that leg back, the foot back toward you. And one last idea, come back to the runner's lunge. Back once more. Left knee over left ankle. And from here, walk the right block in a little and turn toward your knee for a reverse pose. So you're turning the upper body, keeping the shape of the lower body the same. And then take your left arm up, palm facing toward the knee, and then take the arm overhead. So it's just a revolved, open turning of the heart to the sky. Let the head and neck be in line with the spine in a way that's right for your body. And letting the strength of the legs come up through to the upper body for the turning. Then release that hand down. Hands are on blocks. Go ahead. Walk front leg to back and come off the blocks for down dog. Just evening out the body, downward facing dog. And from here, we'll go ahead, walk that right leg forward and come on up to standing. You can keep the blanket there if you want, if you need it for your knee, but you can put it aside and we'll take blocks the second side. Let's roll the shoulders. Notice any sensation right to left, any difference that you feel in the body. Inhale, raise the arms. Turn the right leg out, left leg in. Turn the hips a little bit and hinge on over to triangle. Take that one block high up behind the knee and finding once more softness behind that right knee, turning the whole shape up to the sky. Head and neck are in a comfortable line with the whole spine. You can play with finding softness. You can even bend and straighten that knee a little bit, just feeling into where is there a little more softening that I can find in this shape right now, coming into myself. And then release that top arm back down around all the way to the side for side angle. Right knee over right ankle. You're keeping your block high so you feel more space and ability to turn when we have the height of the block behind us. Heart reaching to heaven. It's said in the V'ahavta al levavacha, upon the heart. The words are upon our hearts because we receive them when the heart's open. Even opening of all parts of the body. And then let's go ahead, release that top arm down, come to runner's lunge. Knee over ankle, lifting that back leg, feeling the sturdiness and steadiness of the legs. And then coming from here, if you want, you can bring that blanket under your knee, letting that left knee come down. Turn the blocks up high, bring them under shoulders. Knee is aligned over your second and third toe. It can come forward here. And finding a gentle baby back bend, opening wide open heart from a drawing in of the hip points and a lengthening up of the core of the body. So we're not sinking into the hips. Widening, extending heart up to sky. Feel the support of the shoulder blades behind you, just as we did the opening of the practice, like there's a blanket or hands supporting behind. And then lift out of the posture, take hips back, extend that front leg long, just opening the leg, feeling a gentle hinging of a forward fold. Softening the elbows, softening the fingers, softening behind the knee, the front knee, both knees. And then last idea here, we'll come to the lunge once more. And we'll take the twist, the turn. So walk your left block in closer to the foot. And then go ahead, draw the front body up into the back body and turn toward the bent leg. So you're turning toward your bent leg. Top arm comes up and over by the ear. And find, if you can, in this gorgeous shape, the steadiness of the legs and the softening and turning from that steadiness in the upper body. And we'll release that hand down, take blocks away, walk front leg back all the way to down dog. Soften behind the knees in the down dog, really playing with bending them. And see if it's possible, once they're steady, to soften in the inner armpit, in the chest. And the shoulder blades really wrap around toward the arms. And then everyone release down if it's comfortable for you to child's pose. The knees are wide, the toes are together. You can rest with the blocks under a blanket. So you line up the blocks and then let a blanket come over and just rest with a little height under your torso and let the arms release. Palms can face up or down. And just letting your whole body rest and fold over this little bolster of blocks and blanket. Noting here where the body is soft and receiving the shape. And then use your hands to come on up. We'll take one little twist before we rest and close. So take your blanket and fold it again. So it's got quite a bit of height. And we'll sit with the sits bones at the front of the fold and the knees come forward, both feet and knees forward. And then let's go ahead and swing both feet to your right. The front shin can come forward and we'll turn away from the feet to the left. So the feet are off to the right and we're turning away from them for a gentle heart opening twist. Noting here the expanse at the front of the heart, the support at the back of the heart, and imagining the whole rib basket as this gorgeous container, this ark containing the Holy of Holies, the heart in the center. And then we'll lean back to lift the feet and swing them to the other side. Swing feet to the left. Inhale, raise the arms to keep length of side body and then turn away from the feet. Just a couple breaths here. And then from here, slide the blanket out and just bring it under your head, or if you're comfortable lying flat, you can take it under your knees. And we'll just lay back for a final resting posture. Take a moment to feel into the shape that's right for you for resting. We'll rest here for just a few moments. And really releasing front body and back body. Maybe take a deep breath and really releasing all effort and noting the softness of the body, resting into the floor, all the way down from skull through shoulders, back body, arms, hands through to the lower body, legs, and feet. Go ahead and take a deep, long breath. Nishmat Chayim, the breath of life. And as you're ready, fold the body and roll to the right side. Maybe linger here for a breath or two. And then use hands to come on up to sitting. And just sit for a moment and take note as you sit of the alignment of the upper body, the shoulder girdle over the pelvic bowl, the spine lengthening and supporting you, bringing your awareness to the soft body. Maybe noting if there's any more space inside. And we'll close with our hands resting in our laps or at the heart if you're comfortable, and the phrase B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of the divine. And we greet one another with that in mind. B'Tselem Elohim. Thank you, everybody.